making fine money, but this is my dream. I want this to be stable.
You're smarter than that. You're not the guy to walk away and walk off.
From the cutthroat selection process to the lightning-fast production schedule, these are some Shark Tank behind-the-scenes secrets that fans never knew about. Starting with the fact that you'll probably never make it onto the show. Picture this. You're a starry-eyed entrepreneur with a groundbreaking product, and all you need is a chance to showcase it on Shark Tank. It's like a dream come true, right? Well, wake up and smell the coffee, my friend, because the reality is more grim. With over 100,000 applications per season, getting on Shark Tank is like trying to find a needle in a shark-infested haystack. Plus, the selection process is kind of insane. First, you'll have to submit an application that includes a pitch video, your business plan, and your entire life story, or at least the parts that are relevant to your business. Then, a team of casting agents will sift through the applications like they're panning for gold, searching for the most unique and promising ideas. And they're not just looking for businesses that can make money. No, they want products and services that will make for good television too. Now, if your application makes the cut, you'll be invited to a casting call, where you'll have to pitch your business in front of a panel of agents. And don't think you can just wing it. They're looking for entrepreneurs who have their stuff together, with a clear understanding of their market, their competition, and their own business plan. If you impress the agents at the casting call, you might just get the chance to pitch it to the sharks themselves. But don't start popping the champagne just yet, because there's still a long way to go. Because even if you do impress the sharks and strike a deal, there's still no guarantee that your segment will make it onto TV. See, Shark Tank films over 100 pitches per season, but only a fraction of those segments will actually air. That means entrepreneurs who invest a significant amount of time and money into promoting their appearance on the show could end up disappointed if they don't make the final cut, which they might not find out for up to a year after taping. Now, if you're wondering what it takes to make the cut, Scott Salyers, the mastermind behind the casting process for Shark Tank, emphasizes that having a captivating personality is just as important as having a great product or idea. Because let's face it, if you're as dull as dishwater, even the most revolutionary product won't save you from being dropped. According to journalist Andrew Hale, who interviewed the creators of the Sly Handboard, Steve Watts and Angela Ferrendo applied to Shark Tank 3 times before finally making it on the show. Hale explains that it was only when they made themselves part of the product and added suspense, intrigue, humor, and tension to their pitch, they caught the attention of the casting agents. But even that isn't always enough, which is a shame, honestly, since entrepreneurs will spend hours pitching their products in front of sharks. Yep, Shark Tank may only show 8 to 10 minutes of a pitch, but the entrepreneurs have to endure much longer conversations with the investors. Picture being in a high-pressure situation for 45 minutes to an hour, trying to convince a couple of billionaires that your business is worth investing in. That's pretty much what it's like to be on the show. Believe me, it's no easy feat. But then there are those brave souls who push the boundaries and pitch for even longer. Like Michael Sang, who spent a mind-boggling 2.5 hours pitching his product Plate Topper. While it may seem like a dream come true for entrepreneurs to have so much time to pitch, the producers of the show have to sift through all that footage to find the most engaging and interesting bits to keep audiences hooked. And let's be real, nobody wants to watch someone drone on about financial details for an hour. So those parts often end up on the cutting room floor. It's a tough job for the producers, but ultimately, it's what makes the show so entertaining to watch. After all, who doesn't love seeing entrepreneurs sweat it out in front of the sharks? Which brings me to this next point. Once you're on set, you can't speak for 30 seconds. According to an interview with Mark Cuban by D Magazine, there's a stare down that happens right before the cameras start rolling. During this time, the entrepreneur and the sharks simply look at each other in silence, while the production crew adjust their cameras for establishing shots. Now, this is mainly done for footage purposes, but it's likely that it also builds the intensity and pressure for a more exciting segment. As entrepreneur Eric Bandholz puts it, the sharks are smiling awkwardly. The whole thing is pretty intense. Even Fleetwood Hicks, the founder of Villy Custom, wrote in a 2012 blog post about the nerve-wracking experience of the stare-down during his Season 3 pitch. But if you think this is scary, boy, you haven't seen anything yet. Did you know business owners only get one shot to deliver their pitch? So there's no room for flubs or fumbles. It's a one-shot, high-stakes game. Sure, you might get a second chance in a future season, but in the moment, it's all or nothing. According to past contestants, being on Tank is not for the faint of heart. One slip of the tongue or moment of hesitation could be the difference between landing a deal or going home empty-handed. As Aaron Marino puts it, if you mess up, you have to keep going. You have all these very dominant personalities going after you, talking over themselves. It's sensory overload. And it's not just the shark's intimidating presence that makes the pitch nerve-wracking. Once a pitch starts, it's like a runaway train. There's no stopping, no pausing, no do-overs. The sharks fire off rapid-fire questions and talk over one another, creating a perfect storm of anxiety for the contestants. It's enough to make even the most confident entrepreneur break out in a cold sweat. But in the end, that's what makes the show so fun to watch. And if this serves as any consolation, there's always a psychiatrist on set that the entrepreneurs can talk to. Yes, you heard that right. They want to make sure that the entrepreneurs are mentally stable after facing the sharks and potentially getting their dreams crushed. I mean, it only makes sense. Can you imagine standing in front of a panel of millionaires and billionaires, trying to sell them on your dream while knowing that the whole world is watching? Who wouldn't need a little bit of therapy after going through that kind of experience? It's a lot of pressure to handle, even for the most seasoned business person. Eric Bandholz describes the experience as a very intense emotional roller coaster. And I'm sure he's not the only one who feels that way. In fact, one entrepreneur was so overwhelmed that he fainted right there in front of the investors. Too bad the cameras weren't rolling at the time, because that would have made for some great TV. Speaking of things that happen once the cameras are off, it turns out that the deals made on Shark Tank are more slippery than a greased-up dolphin. The hard truth is that what you see on TV is just the tip of the iceberg. The real action happens when the cameras stop rolling, and the sharks start drilling down into the gritty details of the business. While the contestants may leave the tank feeling like they've landed the big one, the reality is that 2/3 of the time, those deals end up going belly up. Maybe they should start calling the show Deal or No Deal. Mostly no deal, though. According to Forbes, the odds of closing a deal with a shark vary by investor. For instance, Barbara Corcoran and Damon John are the most likely to close deals, while Robert Herjavec, Lori Greiner, and Kevin O'Leary are less likely. Mark Cuban invests in more than twice as many companies as the other sharks, but he's also the most likely to blame entrepreneurs for not closing deals. Hey, when you're a billionaire, you can afford to be picky. But believe it or not, it isn't always the entrepreneurs who get the rough end of the deal. The sharks can also have it pretty rough. The show is shot in just 17 days, split into 2 week-and-a-half sessions in the summer and fall to accommodate the sharks' demanding schedules. During those 17 days, the sharks can expect to see 6 to 8 pitches a day, sometimes spending up to 12 hours on set. And if you're wondering why they always seem to be wearing the same outfits, it's because segments are grouped together during editing to avoid continuity errors. The marathon sessions work in 3-day splits, with an off day in between. According to shark Robert Herjavec, day 1 is when the sharks feel refreshed and play up their TV personas, often resulting in exaggerated responses to pitches. Day 2 is the best day, as everyone is fully committed to making a deal. But day 3, that's when the sharks are most tired, thinking about getting back to their own companies, and can sometimes get a little testy with each other. I guess that explains why some pitches are normal and others are pure chaos. Anyways, From the hectic production schedule to the cutthroat selection process, these were some Shark Tank behind-the-scenes secrets that fans never knew about.